Welcome back, MTG Joe here. We're here for another installment of the weekly meta breakdown where we look at the top performing decks on the MTG Arena ladder based on track data from Untapped.gg. We are looking at the Explore Best of 3 format for this particular video. If you're looking for Best of 1 Explore, Standard, or Historic Best of 1 or Best of 3, those are separate videos in the playlist that you can check out. We put these out every week, so you can always kind of check in to see what's changing from week to week. As mentioned, we get the data from Untapped.gg, which is a companion tool that runs alongside your Arena client, tracks your win rates, loss rates, aggregates your collection, takes all the user data, aggregates it into like the stats we're looking at today. Free to use a whole bunch of their functionality. The link is in the video description down below. As well as I will paste all the deck lists that we mentioned today in the video description, so if you want to import those, you can. So jumping into it, we are looking June 22nd to today, which is the 29th, 7 days, Platinum to Mythic rank, 24,000 matches of Magic the Gathering were played, notably matches for best of 3, so individual games is 48 to 72,000, quick maths. And the top performing deck of the week by quite a large margin is Mono Green Stompy. So we saw this in best of 1 being one of the better decks as well. Just a lot of chunk in this deck. So you have acceleration in Llanowar Elves. Pelt Collector gets bigger and eventually gets Trample. This version is playing Kraul Harpooner as a way to deal with any sort of flyers in the format. Also just a 2-mana 3/2 that can trigger Pelt Collector at times beyond 5. Ooze for Graveyard Hate, Werewolf Pack Leader for card advantage. Old Growth Troll and Steel Leaf Champion are both 4 and 5 powered, like tough to deal with pseudo-evasive creatures with Trample and the Can't Be Blocked clause. And then Rhonas is just a hard to deal with threat that can be a mana sink to give evasion to your bigger creatures. I also collected Company that pulls together all these, and then some copies of Primal Might as a fight spell in the deck itself. In the sideboard, we have Grafdigger's Cage, which notably does not stop Greasefang combo. You want to probably be playing Weathered Runestone if that's the case. There's not much Phoenix. Runestone also stops Cat Oven combo as well, so you're probably just better off playing that over it. This does shut off Collected Company. You have Safekeeping for like the Rakdos matchup, Control matchup, stuff like that. Another Harpooner versus anything in the air. We're seeing some Ledger Shredder decks, which we'll get to, or Angels. This both works well in those matchups. Ram Through is more fight spells, Graveyard Hate against the Control matchups, or like stuff like Cat Oven. You have Questing Beasts, and then the Great Henge to grind value. Next deck, Seleznya Angels. So those Kraul Harpooners are looking good against a bunch of flyers. Another Collected Company style deck. You have a bunch of different ways to gain life in this deck. Notable kind of combos are Lunarch Veteran, Bishop of Wings, and Resplendent Angel means it triggers on entry, so you get another 5, or you get another Angel. Righteous Valkyrie gains life off any Angels or Clerics, so kind of buffs the squad. Jada makes all your subsequent Angels larger. You have some card advantage. Inspiring Overseer. Ajani kind of breaks the mirror and is a one-sided board wipe. Collected Company as well for to kind of pull together your pieces at instant speed. Your sideboard, you see like Pithing Needle. If you need to name something like Witch's Oven, Teferi, you can name Parhelion because the crew's an activated ability. Shaper Sanctuary for the Rakdos matchup, anything with lots of targeted removal. Intervention for board wipes. Mass Vandal is a Shapeshifter Angel that deals with artifacts or enchantments. Straight Graveyard Exile and Rest in Peace. Redain for like the control matchups or heavy or like big spell stuff. Shalai is another way to have protection in the heavy removal matchups. Yasharn for the sack matchup, and Lyra for the more aggressive slanted decks to be able to take those out with the lifelink. Next, we have Jund Food. So this is kind of the Eldraine deck with the additions of Fable the Mirrorbreaker, Cat Oven deck with Witch's Oven, Gilded Goose. You have the Mayhem Devil, which we've seen. It's pretty much like the historic deck that's just kind of imported over. A lot of individual, very powerful synergies, like card advantage out of it. Does a really good job of just grinding out the small creature decks, or even just stuff without evasion. That's why you're seeing the mono green deck be pretty good, because like Steel Leaf Champion gets around the cat to not be able to chump block. The Trample is also relevant. Whereas like if you just have like a 10-10 Scavenging Ooze, it's not really going to do much against the cat. Sideboard wise, you have like anti-control combo kind of grind hate with Thoughtseize, Meathook Masker as a sweeper, License Hearse as graveyard hate, Bone Crusher Giant, just as general catch-all removal as well. You have Binding of the Old Gods, and then Questing Beast just as another evasive threat. We have Abzanian Humans, so this is another Coco deck. It's been the week of Coco decks. Base mono white, you have the additions of Werewolf Pack Leader for card advantage, Kudro for graveyard hate and Anthem, and then Extraction Specialist as a way to get stuff back from your graveyard. We've seen some of these play Charming Prince to be able to blink it to get extra copies, but your Thalia Lieutenant could die, and then you can get it back and then use it to Anthem your team again by putting counters on all your humans. You have Collected Company on the top end to kind of pull everything together. Unclaimed Territory, it's Secluded Courtyard, lets you help cast some of these like double green or non-white cards. Sideboard-wise, Containment Priest for anything trying to sneak into the battlefield. Kitesail Freebooter, which is like hand hate for like control style matchups. Outline Liberator for artifacts or enchantments. Unlicensed Hurts for graveyard hate. And Skyclave Apparition is just general catch-all removal. Rakdos midrange. Rakdos kill everything you have and make dragons. So this is kind of the Jund deck of the format. Lots of removal, Fatal Push, Heartless Act, Bloodtithe Harvester's removal, Stomp's removal, Glorybringer's removal, Chandra's removal. So lots of options there. Kroxa, Tenacious Underdog are recursive value engines. Thoughtseize to attack your opponent's hand. Life gain and graveyard hate from the Trespasser. Fable the Mirror Breaker, as with so many decks, is the glue that holds together all these piles of cards. And it is really sweet to make copies of Glorybringer with haste every turn. Kill your thing. Sideboard-wise, lots of one-ofs, but kind of group them for you. Removal, when I need to kill things. Bloodchief's Thirst, Abrade, Legion's End, Noxious Grasp, Bedevil. Depending on the matchup, especially like the food style matchup, Hidisuku, Mono Red also is pretty good to hit this with this. Soul Shatter versus any Goldspan Dragon or like large creature style decks. Then you have Hazoret as an additional threat versus heavy removal based decks, very good into the mirror, where they really don't have a way to kill it other than Soul Shatter. Against blue-white, they do have quite a few exile-based removal spells, but it's a very good threat there as well. Go Blank and Duress is more discard along with Kroxa. Yep, that's pretty much it. Then we have Esper Greasefang. So this is a more mid-range focused version of the deck. So we're seeing some of the Connive cards in here, Rafine's Informant, Ledger Shredder, Rafine that give you a fair game plan. So you're not all in on the combo. Lets you just attack in. Season's Hallowblade lets you toss some of these copies. Parhelion or other cards to get some value. You have Kaido as a way to kind of refill, similar with Charter Course. And then you still have your combo kill element of Greasefang with Parhelion. Sideboard, you got some Angels when they want to go aggro, or if they're just really targeting your graveyard strategy. Graveyard Trespasser and License Hearse. Graveyard Hate, Trespasser could come in heavy removal matchups as well, based on the ward. Borrower as like a bounce effect if they're bringing something like Unlicensed Hearse or something like that you want to play around, like end step, bounce it, and then kind of combo out. And then just like a smattering of removal and discard with the deck as well. Next up, Azorius Control. So there's like a Strict Proctor Lotus Field version and a non-Lotus Field version. There's a Yorian version. So there's a couple different takes. This one had the highest win rate. As with all blue-white control decks, you're slowing things down with Teferi. Notably, this version doesn't have Narset in it. You're going to primarily win through like Teferi Alt, Wandering Emperor, some Shark Typhoons, a Dream Trawler mixed in there. Good smattering of removal spells. March, Portable Hole, Fateful Absence. A mix of counter spells. Seems like they couldn't decide which one they wanted, so they played them all. Censors, Dovin Vetoes. You have Sweepers in Settle, Shatter, and Farewell. And some card advantage in Behold and Memory Deluge with a copy of Search in there. Sideboard again, like for the aggressive matchups, more Sweepers, first Control, you have a package, some removal options as well as deemed fit based on the color of the deck. You have stuff like Red-Black Hate, Red-Green Hate, and like Weenie Hate. Up next, Mono Red Aggro. This is a variant by Frank Karsten that he was playing during the challenge. Interesting, it was a different take on it. So this is a Runaway Steamkin version of the deck, which we haven't really seen much. Usually you see like Robber the Rich or stuff like that in there. And it's usually trying to take advantage with the extra mana, Soulscar Mage, Reckless Rage as a ways to target. He was looking for like a 1-mana answer to the Greasefang decks. Falconwrath Pit Fighter of all 1-drops, and it's really just like an Annex Cleave deck. Sideboard like heavy removal decks, grind, anti-life gain, anti-weenie, and then just some removal options, Pithing Needle and License Hearse for Graveyard Hate or like combo stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. As always, you can check out my profile. Let's try that again. You can check out my profile if it decides to load. Well, I'll link my profile if you want to just see what's up. There we go. So you can see like this is some of the deck tracking functionality of Untapped. I peaked at 49 Mythic this month, 63% win rate overall. You can see like the deck win rates and stuff that I have. You can track event stuff. I don't play much best of 3. I usually just play best of 1 for speed. But if you have any questions with decks like that, especially mono red, I've played countless games of mono red in my time. If we look at like current and previous seasons, most played mono red, got some explorer ranks, lots of the kind of decks I play around with that. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you've been playing in Explorer Best of 3 as well, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.